Hi there. Welcome to my sewing practice. You have reached me on a Friday Sews. Again, this is probably episode 15 of all my videos, not just the Friday Sews. And today I am going to tell you about what I'm doing in my life, tell you about what I've been sewing, and tell you about my plans going forward. So thank you, Jen, for setting up this group. I know she said something that really resonated with me. She said that she felt like her gift was really just like forming groups, keeping people together or whatever. And that is such a gift. And I agree. I mean, this Friday Sew situation it's just such a great place to find videos, find new people, record new people. I'm a new person. Please subscribe. But it is really a wonderful thing. What I'm wearing. I am actually wearing a store-bought today. I got this at Talbot's last year at the sales. Sometimes I buy store-bought because I want to achieve an idea. And in this case, it was a linen and polyester mix in this coral color and I wanted to try both of them. I was also interested in this sleeve detail to see how much I liked it. And yeah, I think I like everything pretty well. The necklace is an oldie. It is Brighton, and for some reason I remember the name of it, and it's called Tiddly. And I'm sure it's out of production, but it's an old thing. Actually, my late sister-in-law gave it to me. And then this was given to me by my grandson. It is perfect. And a night watch. So that's what I'm wearing today. And let's start with what I have been sewing. Okay, so what have I been sewing? Well, I am doing the challenges that many of us are doing. I'm focusing on the He Made June 22 challenge, and I'm going to do a huge wrap up of that next Friday Sews is my plan. But I did make a t-shirt, and I've already posted it on Instagram. And on the Instagram post, I have all the steps I did. So I took the extra credit for an upcycle. This used to be my t-shirt, and I made it into a child's t-shirt, size 5, but I can understand why I didn't care for it. It has no stretch. I mean, it's just amazing how you just learn so much by sewing, like why things work and don't work, you know? And last video, I asked if anyone knew of a way to create labels for the inside of your garment. And oh, someone gave me the best idea. I'm going to put her name here, so thank you so much. But she said that she uses her Cricut and gets a product called heat sensitive vinyl, and she cuts them out on her Cricut. Well, I have an old silhouette. I mean, first generation practically, but I know how to use it. So I used my silhouette and I put the label in there with that. And it's so soft. It's like Fruit of the Loom soft. And so I've been really having fun making labels, and I'm always tweaking my process, my practice, and my room. So I made a little bean bag that says pattern pieces because I've kind of figured out part of my practice is that while I'm sewing a garment, the pattern pieces, as you remove them from your cut pieces, you need to put those pattern pieces somewhere, and I end up having them kind of scattered. And so I started putting them underneath a pattern weight, but then sometimes I would grab the pattern weight for something. So this time I know that that pattern weight has to stay there. So you can probably recognize it. This is my Ren shirt, this is my Frida shirt. And speaking of using scraps, another thing I've worked on this week is this bunting that I have behind me. And I suppose I'll show you a close-up, but what's fun is some of them I call them paper dolls, but they're just little cutouts of a line drawing of a pattern. And if I had one like that, I made the Frida out of that, so I put it there. And, you know, and that's the Lamont. I made a Lamont out of that, so that's kind of fun. And where I did that is kind of what I've been doing this week, is I went to a sewing retreat. So yeah, the church ladies have a sewing retreat twice a year, and they are all what I call craft sewers. I mean, the majority of them are quilters. There are some talented quilters though, so let me scoot to the side so I can put, here, let me scoot to the side instead. I'll scoot to the side so I have room to put some of their in-progress quilts. Jen asked us to discuss our style, and I'm going to call it Elevated Crunchy. And I don't actually have like a clear vision in my brain of what I'm trying to achieve, but I have a hazy one. And it's kind of like a Birkenstock, walking on the beach kind of girl. But I can't wear Birkenstocks. And I didn't even start wearing linen very much until like last year. And then this year I've really upped my linen game. I don't even own any silk at this point, although I'd like to. But I do wear a lot of cottons. And I've really enjoyed this journey into woven fabrics, that is. So I think I'm going to continue it, even though I'm doing a closet edit right now. You might have seen my trailer. And I'm going to put that video out soon. And speaking of another thing that I've been working on lately, it's called a YouTube channel, My Sewing Practice. So it's been, you know, a really fun and big undertaking. I didn't want to sincerely get started with it. I got a hair in my eye. I really didn't want to get seriously started with it until I got a better computer, and I did that about a month ago, and that's why you're seeing my videos now. But I have so much content in my brain that I can't get it all in 1 week. So I've started, you know, trying to keep the videos kind of manageable and enjoyable to watch. And please watch to the end and subscribe and comment. I really want to listen to what you have to say. But anyway, that I've been dropping another video like on Sunday. So I think that's going to be my schedule for a while, is that I'll do Friday sews in the format that's suggested. And then on Sunday, I'll give you all this other stuff that's going around in my brain. So, but I have some good ideas. So please continue to watch. So, what else have I been doing? I organized my trim drawer. I'll show you before. I'll show you an after. There you go. And so continuing with what I've been sewing, I apologize if I've jumped around a little bit. I participate in a ministry called Stitch, and it's for refugee women learning to sew. And if you want to know more about that, please go back to episode 10. And in episode 10, it's a daily vlog video is what it is. And one day I went to Stitch, so I recorded it. But I have a student that was struggling, and they were pretty firm with her last week, and they even wrote down how much she needs to improve so she could take that note home. Because, you know, there's a big language barrier. She could take the note home to her husband and have her husband read it. But essentially, they said, we cannot sell your products because the sewing's just no good, as Anna said, no good. So I'm going to be her tutor. And I thought with those firm words that a little encouragement would be good. So what I've done is I've made her a little gift to start with. And it's a little scissors pouch. And in the pouch, I've got a little pair of scissors to snip her threads, obviously. This is one of those situations where the sewing room is vast and full of stuff, but like anything that's sharp and consumable is really low quality. So having a good pair of snips will be good. And then I also included my favorite tool. And what this is when you're ironing, you open your seams with this, and then it holds them, and that steam will not burn your fingers, because I like a lot of steam. So I'm going to give that to her as kind of a little bit of an encouragement. My only problem is I have another student too, and I didn't make her one. So I'm going to have to kind of tactfully address that situation. But then another idea, and then I also did buy some new scissors. Now, these they won't be hers personally, but I was thinking if we could keep them at my table, maybe that would work. And it came in a pack of 2. And with the sale at Joann, these came to about $11 each for a pair of scissors. And I thought we could test cut them right now. So this is a piece of quilting cotton. Let's see how they do. Pretty good. I mean, they are brand new. And then I also have a piece of viscose right here I thought we could cut. And I'm going to explain why I have this fabric here in a second. But yeah, they seem pretty good, so we'll see how they work. Hey, you know that fruity challenge? They will accept almost anything. You think I could just take a picture of me with these scissors and you know, I'm kidding. I kid a little too much. Another thing I'm going to do is show my student how to make these snap bags, because I've been making them and they're really satisfying. So that's what they are. And I made like examples of the previous 5 steps. This is the 6th step in the prototype. So let me show them to you. Tell me what you think. So the first step, the pre-step obviously is cutting out the fabric, and I've got these here. The lining's a little bigger than the outer fabric. So I've got some patterns here. Then you're going to lay them on top of each other like this. So the solid color is what I'm calling the lining. This is the outer. Number 2 is you're going to add your little handles. So I'm using that little cork stuff there for handles. There is a cute way you can do handles, but I think that makes it too complicated for the objective I'm going for. The next step is that you're going to sew down the handle and that top at the same time. So I've got one end showing you the tab, and then the other end it's sewn down. And then the 4th one is I have slid in the snaps, which are these little rulers. Now mine's an inexpensive IKEA ruler, and they suggest that you put them in this direction, and they're real quiet. But I like the satisfying crunch. So I'm putting them in the way that's not prescribed, but they're thinner rulers also. So that's showing that these rulers are in here. And of course, they're protected on the ends with the tape. And then I've started my first seam, and I'm going to do French seams. So that's what's going on there. So that's step number 4. Step number 5 is continuing with this French seam, but I've shown you like that. And then if you want to, you could look inside and see that French seam. And then here's a French seam that's halfway finished. And then I also then just whip stitch the top so that French seam doesn't have a raw edge exposed. And then again, step number 6 is the finished product. So I'm going to do that and see if she enjoys that project. So that's my situation with Stitch. So what I'm doing next week. Well, you know, Jen from Jen's Today in Jen's Sewing Room, the one that organized this group, she had a really interesting question, and I did not answer it because I didn't know about it. But she asked you if you like florals or like graphic prints. And I didn't know the answer of it anyway. But I was shopping one day, actually not for fabric, but it was in that sewing machine store that I bought the acrylic table, which is one of my first videos. I'll show you that if you want to go back and look at it. But the point is that they had this fabric there. And I got to show you something. If you're interested in this fabric, it's a dashwood fabric. And this is what the selvage says. Okay, so I guess I thought I was a graphic person, but after I bought it, I'm like, those lines are kind of strong. But this is why it's such a great fabric for me. This is my colors. Okay, so I got this done by the Color Guru. And if I am going to compare that to this fabric, it's like every color's in it. It's just, I mean, it's just amazing. And I kind of subscribe to that theory that, like, you know, like let's say you're decorating a room and you've got 3 colors. Well, ideally it would be great if you could like have a couch pillow that explains your colors, you know, like have a print, or perhaps, you know, your window toppers explain all 3 colors. And so if you extrapolate that to a wardrobe, I feel like a top made out of this kind of explains my colors. And I've started it. So that's what I'm working on this week. The other thing I'm going to do this week is I am going to finish my He Made contributions. So please come back next week and watch that, because I've got a lot of He Made items and I have opinions about patterns on that. I was actually given a new project by my son, which I hardly started because I'm waiting on fabric, and that is he needs a rash guard. He just went to the beach and he figured out that he really needs a rash guard. And then lastly, what I'm working on is a big closet edit. You might have seen my trailer. I discovered trailers in iMovie. Oh my goodness, how fun. So I did publish a trailer a few days ago. Go back and look at it if you want. But the video that corresponds to that trailer is going to be published this coming week and perhaps on Sunday. So what I'm going to do going forward as far as the channel goes, I'm going to contribute every Friday and Friday sews and follow the format of talking about what you've been working on, talking about your personal life a little bit, and then talk about what you're going to do going forward. So I'm going to do that format on Fridays. And then Sunday, I'll probably do more of a video of like what I want to get into the weeds about. So please come back on Sunday, because, you know, I'm just so excited about everything I have to share with you. So I think that might wrap it up for this one. And I will see you on Sunday. And thank you so much for sticking around. I'll see you then.